Hello, good morning everyone. Namaste. Good morning everyone. This is the 8th day of October. Today we are honored to have architect Radhika Vaidya with all of us. I welcome our honorable principal sir. I welcome all of you, all students from 4th year A and B division and all faculties. The agenda of the webinar is as follows. First, there will be introduction. Then students from 4th A and B will present their work. Then there will be a presentation by our honorable guest. Then there will be a question and answer session and last vote of thanks. So I request Principal Sir to give the introduction of Radhika Madam, our honorable guest. Over to Principal Sir.
Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Mahendra Sonavne, Principal Director of SB Patil College of Architecture and Design from Pimpri Chinchwad, Nigdi. On behalf of our institute, Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust and Architecture College, I welcome Architect Radhika Vaidya Madam for this webinar, which she accepted, and I'm very thankful to her. First, to tell you about our college, it's a new college started in 2014, and we are developing and improving at a larger scale, having exposure to various architect experts, good infrastructure, and complex design topics are always been appreciated in our campus. Now, to introduce Radhika Vaidya Madam, it's my words will be very few for it. She's an architect having award-winning projects under her. She's been graduated from Sir J.J. College of Architecture in 1979, completed her master's from Government College of Engineering, Pune under town planning. With tremendous experience, she started her practice and with her husband, Aniruddha Vaidya and Associates in 1983. Her projects range from private houses to residential, commercial, institutional buildings, townships, and mega townships. Her expertise is in her field is about housing for senior citizens and entire townships of various categories and differently able persons. Her awards are very few in front of me, but I'll read the major awards which she has been received in her decades. The ESA jury recommended award 2009 for best master planning for Vasant Vihar project in Pune. The NDTV Township awarded in 2015 for Blue Ridge Township at Hinjewadi, Pune. The ESA Award 2016 for Best Residential Township Forest Trails in Bhugaon. She is also an executive committee member of Indian Institute of Architects Pune Center. In January 2017, she was awarded the Indira Group of Institutes Award for Indira Engineering and Architectural Awards in 2017 by heads of Lieutenant General A.K. Singh. Radhika Vaidya Madam was also felicitated by the Indian Institute of Architects on Women's Day as a leading woman architect from Pune. One more thing, she is also an academician. She goes as a guest lecturer and visiting lecturer for various architecture college just to share her experience, her projects, her hard work which she has put, and the fruits are there in the city here itself. As I have told you, she's a pioneer in housing for senior citizens and accessible buildings for differently able. I think this information provided by me today to you is very less, but to start our project, I'll keep my speech very less. I once again humbly request uh, Radhika Vaidya Madam to give her presentation so that our students can gain from her experience and knowledge which she has been having for last 40 years. Once again, I invite and welcome architect Radhika Vaidya Madam on behalf of Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust and SB Patil College of Architecture, all my faculty members and my students. It would be a very interesting session, and we would love to attend, and we are attending it, and we would like to listen to what you would like to present today. Thank you, madam. very good morning to you all.
Hello, Damini Saha, are you ready? Now we will present the students' work. Hello, Damini Saha. Hello, Damini.
Ma'am, she can't unmute herself.
Okay, okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Huh.
Yes.
Please present your work.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Hello, good morning, Radhika ma'am. So I'm Damni from fourth year B section. So I would like to present the current design project that we are working on. So our topic is assisted community living. For our site, we've been given a site in Kitkavre, which is approximately an hour from Pune. Uh, and the site is a very secluded area, like it is pretty calm, and they have one it is near the Pune Satara road, and then there is a off by lane which takes you to the main site. This is the main site which we were given. It is a contoured site with, and there are existing vegetation of mango and banyan trees on the site. This is the design requirements that we were given. So we have been given building typologies of detached row houses and apartments of 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 3, 4, and 5. Along with that, we are supposed to give commercial spaces of shops and offices, and an amenity space of 5,250. Ma'am, I'd like to start with my book case studies that we did. So the first case study that I did was on Runwal Elegante in Mumbai. So the location is Lokhandwala, Lokhandwala Andheri. So the area of this site is pretty posh, but at the same time, it needs to be a little um, cost effective. So this building, the reason I selected it is because I am from Mumbai and I've always seen this building, and I wanted to do a deeper study in this building. So one feature that I always liked about this building is that they have provided a Galileo deck sort of a thing which connects all three buildings on the terrace, and they have given an amenity the clubhouses and amenity space right at the center. The building orientation is such that when the direct sun rays do not enter the playground, so that when children are utilizing the space, they are not hit by the harsh sun rays. The building leaves a shadow. So these are the plans that I have provided. This is they have luxury apartments of 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 4.5 BHKs, and 5 BHKs. These are the plans that I have provided. Then there was a second case study that I did, which was Sky Green Residential and Retail Tower, which is in Taichung City in Taiwan. This is more biophilic and green architecture, which is the reason why I selected it, because for my project I wanted to do something which incorporates the environment, the site context of our site. They have in this building they have provided a common terrace on alternate floors, and if you can see this image.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And they have given a terrace with balconies with individual balconies, in which also there is plantation and landscaping done. And for the sun rays, they have done an elevation treatment, which is seen over here, so that the direct the sun rays do not enter the building directly.
Okay.
So I like to go on to my site analysis. So as I said before, our site is in Ketkaure, and the site is near a mountainous region. So the nearby amenities of the site are, there is a Balaji temple, there's a Devri dam, there's a junior college, and there's the Bhagyadhara waterfalls, and there are hotels and ATMs nearby. So this is the basic climate analysis that I had done. So since it is the near Pune, the climate is also wet and dry, but it also has prevailing winds because of the mountains and the dam which is nearby. Then the site has a contour from west to east. These are the images that I have provided. So this is our site, and these are the nearby amenities with approx locations from the site. And if you can see that you have the main views in the northwest and southeast locations of the site, and this is the entire mountain region that is covering the site. So the site has a lot of potential for great views. This is site. We have done an orientation according to Vastu. So the main buildings are placed near southwest to and the southwest area, but and keeping a little bit part open in the southwest for the wind direction, for the wind to enter. And this is, so my concept was, since it is assisted living, I wanted to create a space. I wanted to create interactive spaces for everybody living there, not because in assisted living there are specially abled people, and their mindset is more that even though they need assistance, they want to feel that they are not needed any, like they do not require any assistance. They try to do everything by themselves. So like the design thought was that it should be compatible for all.
Yes.
So this is the basic bubble diagram that I had done. I have given the apartments and on the lower portion of the contour, and then the detached and the row houses on the upper portion of the contour, so that the detached also can get the views. Then the zoning that I have done. So this in the center, I given the green space and the common interactive spaces, which so that it can be accessible by everyone. And along with that, it is like there is in assisted living for the specially abled, they do not have so many varieties of activities that they can do. So the spaces that I want to create would give them the sort of, they, like an inspiration, like we can go and do this, like, so that is why I had created these spaces. So this is the DCR rules and norms that I had removed, and this is my area statement. I have combined 1 BHK and 2 BHKs in one apartment in one building, and there are four types, and then 3 BHKs, 4 BHKs, and 5 BHKs in one building.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So there are total 9 buildings. There are total of 6 buildings, and we have a height restriction of 30 meters. So I've given 9 floors of 3-meter height.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So this is my site plan. I've given an entry from the north side, and so there's a separate entry for the apartments and for the detached and the row houses. I given the road in the periphery of the site, so that anybody who is utilizing the spaces inside are not interrupted by the vehicular movement, and so that the entire circulation would be only pedestrian, and there is no risk or any scare for the people utilizing it. So I've given the main open space or a garden sort of a place for in the center. So it is accessible by everybody and it can be viewed by everybody. Then at the same time, this is at a height, and below this would be the basement parking for the buildings, which will be accessible from this area. So there is no movement, there is no vehicular movement on the site in the center. Um, and also I have
Okay, go ahead.
yes ma'am, also the vegetation which was on site, I have tried to not disturb that, so that is the reason why I have sort of given a setback.
Okay.
Yes ma'am. So these are my floor plans. This is the row house floor plan, which so I've given a individual car park for each of the row house, and then the row house is G+1. So this is the main living entry. I've given the living space here so that and it is a private space for anybody who wants to view the television. Then the kitchen is an open space, and then there's a guest room and the common toilet. And then on the first floor, this is just a family gathering space, and there are 2 bedrooms on top, and this is the open terrace which will be provided.
Okay.
So, and then going ahead, this is my 1 BHK and 2 BHK floor plan. So these are the open terraces, common terraces that I have provided on each floor. So these are the spaces where the people of the floor can come and just gather. This is something that I had taken from my case study. Um, so I've provided 3 lifts and the fire staircase and the staircase. So the 2 BHK planning, I've given the living space, the kitchen, common toilet, the bedroom and the master bedroom. For each room, I've given a balcony with a French window, which is going to be facing towards the views of the site. Going to my 3 BHK plan. Yes. So it is almost the same, and just the third BHK which I've added is facing the north side. So each room has its own balcony because I wanted to capture all the views from all the sides. The 4 BHKs that I have provided is a split duplex type. So this portion is the double heighted space, and then when we go up, there's a corridor and a balcony sort of a thing. So this entire is a double heighted space. So this would be the double heighted space, and then we've also provided with a private AV room for the 4 BHK, the master bedroom, and there are 2 bedrooms in the lower floor and 2 bedrooms on the upper floor. Yes, ma'am, that's all.
Okay. I have some few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
First is because I could not read your charts. What is the plot area and what is the FSI to be consumed?
Yes, ma'am. The total plot area is 35,000 square meter.
Okay.
And the FSI that we've considered is 42,000, 1.6%.
1.6%. Okay, 1.6 times. Okay. Have you checked whether you have consumed that much?
Yes, ma'am, I have. So the permissible built-up area is 42,000, and so far I still have to work on it. My total built-up is coming to approximately 20,000. I still have to calculate for detached because I've not completed that yet.
Okay.
So that
Second
is left.
question is, you have left 10% open space and 15% amenity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now my comments would be such that the 15% amenity is to be handed over to the
The government. Yes,
government,
ma'am.
right? So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
location of when you are doing the subdivision of the plot, see, in a large plot, whatever proposal we give, it is a subdivision of plot because you are dividing the plot into an amenity plot, an open space plot, and the remaining is the residential plot, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is a subdivision. So you should select an amenity plot or locate it in such a way that uh, it gets maximum potential, but it also see from the road you are not able to see your buildings at all. So is it something that you want like that? You want it to be like that? Then it's fine. Otherwise, you have to consider that your residential uh, project also gets prominence as along with the amenity plot. That is comment one. I'm not saying that what you have done is wrong, but I'm saying that when
Yes,
you
ma'am.
do a layout, you should do number of options and then select one and take it forward. So that is one. Maybe you have already gone through that process, I suppose. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we had done a block model at home. So in that we had taken made cutouts of the plots, and we had made various zoning options.
Correct. So
Yes.
have you got my point that
Yes, ma'am. I have got it.
okay. With regards to your concept of giving common terraces to the building is very much appreciated. Also that the open spaces are vehicular free spaces. Now to achieve that, you have to work out the ramps properly.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a major thing. When you have a two-level parking or even just a basement parking, you are going to have two-level parking or just a basement and upward
Ma'am,
line.
basement parking.
So
Because
what is going to happen on the ground floor level or just above the podium level? You have to think about that.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, because your apartments will start after the first slab.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, so you have to determine the basement area, the width of the basement area, the ramps. Okay, and what is the upper typical floor grid, planning grid suitable for your parking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes.
it becomes very important that you plan your plan is in a grid which is suitable for the basement parking. So that is something which you have to learn by practice. So if you have a grid in place, then column and beam grid, you have a grid and you plan your apartments or your units accordingly. Then you get a what would you say? Supposing you have built say 10,000 square feet of parking area, then how many cars should be fitted into that? Otherwise, what is happens is it doesn't become economical because you're constructing a large basement, but the number of cars that you have achieved are very less because the column grid is not suitable. So that is the second suggestion I want to give. Considering the unit plans, uh, I feel that they should be more outward looking. In the sense, I feel the corners should be used for bedrooms. What I
Yes.
saw was the corners are blocked by toilets. So try and get two sides for a bedroom, at least the corner ones.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You got my point?
Yes, yes, I got it.
Yeah.
I have not given any openings on the corners.
Corner because
So, yes.
the corner bedrooms have only one side open to the outside.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is something which I noticed. You
Okay.
have to take advantage of the corners. Okay.
Okay.
Also inside the house, the length of the passage should be minimized.
Okay.
See, there are 2 points in this that from your house door, apartment entrance door to the bedroom, you shouldn't have to travel too far. Okay.
Yes.
And
Damini,
secondly,
sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Damini, why don't you show your plan right now instead of showing the sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
hello.
Yes, ma'am.
You can hear, no?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, in this there isn't much of a passage which is wasted, but in the bigger apartments, as you go to 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom, you will realize that there are longer passages. So just take care of that, because the second reason is the passages become dark. They don't get natural sunlight. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in case you, now in this case on the right side you have the 2-bedroom apartment. So in front of the door of the passage of the master bedroom, right exactly in front, if you put a window, maybe a smaller window, then
Yes.
if the door is open, at least you will get some cross ventilation. So over here, if you put a window, then you will get some kind of light and cross ventilation. You know, these are small things.
Yes.
Secondly, have you checked about the shaft sizes
Yes, ma'am.
for light ventilation?
My shaft size is 1.5 by 2 meter. Hello.
How much?
It's 1.5 by 2 meter.
How much? No, I don't think it is that much. How much did you say?
1.5 by 2 meter.
Okay, is that enough as per the DC rules? Because
Yes,
there is a table. Usually there is a table given, and the shafts are for the height of the building. So because your building height is 30 meters, you please check on that.
okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, it has to fit in the rules. Secondly, it should be easy to maintain the plumbing over here. A person, it is accessible from the terrace will have to go down and do whatever repairs which are required. That can be done, but just check whether it is the correct size.
Okay.
Okay. And as I told you, you have not made use of the corners.
Corners.
And another apartment also I saw in the 3 and 4 bedroom. The bigger apartment. Can you show that?
This is 3 Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you can see that so much of the passages area is in the passage. Correct. So what happens is, see, when I'm buying an apartment, I'm paying for every square foot. So if you calculate this area, maybe you can get one more bedroom.
Yes,
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So what am I paying for? Am I paying the circulation area? So that's why you should avoid long passages. You can definitely reorganize this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And see, there is a grid. There. I can't see a clear grid. In a basement, you need to have driveways, right? You need to have driveways within the building. So the drives are suitable sizes, and understand that you have RCC walls around the lift. These are accessory walls which also can act as columns.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can take advantage of that. Okay. So otherwise, it is a very good attempt, I would say, and I'd like to congratulate you for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So the things which I appreciated was your thinking in the master layout. Also the way you have put your driveway on the external side. There are some aspects which you will further work on, I think, because you have to yet do the think about the services, you have to think about the ramps and
Yes,
the
ma'am.
levels, because it's a sloping
Sloping
side.
side.
You have to work out the levels, and you must take advantage of the slope to work out the ramps.
Yes, ma'am.
There is yeah, so you can also plan the entries. As I said, you have to plan the entry, whether every time a pedestrian would go to the basement and then come take the lift, or if I can straight away, enter the building from the garden at the ground level.
Ground level.
So these kind of entries you have to work out. From the garden, see, if I have to go to the garden, how do I get to the ground floor and go out into the garden? Or do I have to go to the basement and then go up the ramp and then enter the garden? So these kind of pedestrian entries are also important,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So and what is this row houses? So these are the row houses, and these are the bungalows.
Row houses and detached. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is also a road.
No, this is just a pedestrian pathway.
Okay, but you would require road. So maybe in this case, you can put the road here and arrange these bungalows in such a way that they get the trees within their plot.
Yes, ma'am.
Something like that. You will need a motorable road for the row houses also,
Yes, ma'am.
because they will have their own parking, right?
Yes, I have given the individual.
Yeah,
parking.
so
Yes, ma'am.
you will need a road over here. Okay. Another thing is, I would like to know whether the podiums are all connected or they are individual basements. So the next step would be to work on that.
Ma'am, I guess individual, because the entire site is contoured, so it would become very difficult if I give it combined.
Okay, then you check the DC rules, that
Yes,
because you
ma'am.
will need if you are providing an internal road, there are rules and regulations about the internal road, what should be the width as per the length of the road, what should be the distance from the internal road of the building. So again, you will have to keep the minimum required front margin. If this becomes the road, then front margin will be applicable. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So check out on that, whether this will qualify as a driveway or this will qualify as an internal road. And if it qualifies as an internal road, then for every building, a front margin is applicable. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
And of course, services you have to still work on. Very nice. Anna, why have you put the commercial spaces here? What are these?
This is the main amenity space of 5,200 that I've set out. And these are the small shops and retail shops that are provided for the building, the commercial shops. And
again, for essential shopping, this is called essential shopping.
Yes, ma'am.
There are rules that it has to have a road frontage.
Okay.
So your commercial spaces should be here on the main road. That is why I said you have to think where your amenity should be, where your shopping should be, and where your buildings should be, so that from the road, you have to also imagine what is how the entrance gate should be. What should you experience as you go inside? What should you be seeing first? You know.
Yes, ma'am. And that is why actually I gave the amenity space to the connected to the main road so that it is not going to interrupt the internal layout. Like
I understand,
yes,
but
the commercial spaces outside.
commercial spaces should be available to these people as well as outside people, so that they get
Yes,
better business. Okay, they
yes,
have to get business, and if I am the promoter, and I have to sell these shops, it will be very difficult for me to sell these shops because they are not on the main road. You understand?
yes, yes, ma'am.
So shops are always fronting the road, the main road, so that it is these are available to the society as well as to the outside. So that is another point. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'll work on all that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Well done.
Thank you,
Thank you so much,
Damini.
ma'am.
Thank you, Damini.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Now next is Aniket from 4th A. He will present his work.
Ma'am, is the screen visible?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Ma'am, now is it visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, ma'am.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So myself, Aniket Vaya from Section A. I would be presenting my current design. This semester, we were working on a housing, mainly assisted living. So, Ritesh, change. Hello.
Hello. Any issue?
Hello, Aniket.
Okay.
Change. Actually, ma'am, I have a network issue.
You can, now we can hear you.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Assisted living is a universal design as it's integrate.
Hello, Aniket.
Sorry, ते थोड़ा operating ला problem येत आहे.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, bola.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
You can start. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Assisted housing is a universal design as it's inclusive housing program for all ages to live with dignity, independence, and privacy at will. As a fraternity, we should be able to cater the needs of the future. And also, assisted living has become a prominent need, especially for the urban population of India. As people age, they require physical as well as emotional support. The younger generation required help of their parents, so for as they are starting their lives. And in addition, the third generation need to experience the love and the warmth of the grandparents. yet unable to live alone due to age-assisted lonely option. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes, please
Yes,
go ahead.
yes.
Am I
Go
audible?
ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Ritesh.
It's okay, just if it's
Huh.
easier, huh?
As
So,
architect, we usually cater to a particular age group of people as depending on the client requirement. If we are designing a housing for a client, we basically look for a particular age group. But similarly, similarly for the schools, institute, old age home, and hospitals. But in assisted housing, we have to design for all three generations, that are kids, adults and grandparents. COVID also in this condition, COVID has shown us that how dependent we were and still are on our support staff. So kids require their parents' support as much as from the physical as well as the emotional and connect.
hello, Aniket, you are not audible.
Hello, ma'am.
Huh. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. In data collection, firstly, we have studied the typologies of houses which are mainly row house, detached house, semi-detached, duplex, apartments, penthouse, traditional vada, skyscrapers, villa. And further, I have studied two case studies, which one is Lodha Belmonta and second is Pune Valley, which is located at Pune. The reason behind choosing this case study is that I can easily relate to our proposed site, which is at Rawet, and the data analysis from this case study helped me in site context, and also helped me brought closer to the bylaws, followed by the PCMC. Next. Hello.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am. Site analysis. As our site is located at the Mukai Chowk in Rawet, the actual owner of the site is Lalwani Builders, and the total site area is 30,000 square meter. According to the DP of the Rawet, our site is currently situated in a residential zone, and it is surrounded by the commercial zone, giving an advantage of amenities such as hospital, market, restaurant, and bus terminal. As the site is also close to IT hub, it have many advantages further. Since the site is located near the highway, it gives easy access, but at the same time, it's create noise and sound pollution also. The main reason behind choosing the selection of the site is that, as the objectives of our project is to design a campus of more than two or one or more categories to the design parameters and fulfill the requirement.
Hello, Aniket.
We can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you. Hmm.
Hello, ma'am.
Huh. Earlier things we missed, whatever you said.
Hello.
Hello. Now you are audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Next. Hello.
Yeah, go
Hello.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Ritesh, next.
I have done.
So my concept is co-living, as our main aim was to design a assisted living. So I have divided co-living in four categories, that is community, collaboration, convenience and COVID. As community living, as the basic definition of community living is people living together or but in their private homes, or one can say a group of people living in a private houses and that are gathered together. In community living, I have considered all age all.
हॅलो अनिकेत, तुझा
Hello
आवाज
ma'am.
We
आवाज
lost.
जातोय
Hello.
मध्ये.
Hello.
बोल.
Yeah, we are not able to hear you in between. You know, in between we are able to hear you, and again we lose you. That is what is happening.
Hello.
हा.
Yeah.
I have considered senior citizens, families, couples, single people, as IT hub is near to it, so it can be there. People who want to live as sustainable as possible. Be one of the biggest advantage of community living is that it
हॅलो, यू आर नॉट ऑडिबल.
hello ma'am.
हा, नाउ वी कैन हियर यू. अगेन वी लूज.
Okay. I was saying one of the biggest benefit of community living is that it reduces the loneliness and the isolation of a senior citizens, as well as the single people. So the people working in IT industry, they work till they are almost, so they need to be mind fresh. So community living is the best option. And the community living is the best way to avoid going to the senior citizens to nursing home and age old age homes. If we think of always if we think of senior citizens, we always think of a barrier free, but no one thinks of the emotions that which is an important part of the life throughout. So the emotions are very important in housing projects. Rather, second is collaboration. Collaboration means working with another person or a group in order to achieve something or do something. As community living, we can create a spaces where all ages people can gather, share their experience, interact with each other, understand each other work, so they will be more comfortable rather than sitting at a home at one place. In collaboration, I have given each residence will have a micro balcony which contains a planter box, so they can plant growing vegetables and small trees. So it will be beneficial in such condition like COVID, so we can grow our vegetables at our home only. Third point is convenience. The plant. Hello.
हॅलो.
Hello ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Convenience is to do something with less effort. So we get in community we will get convenience living in just will be beneficial for all the age groups people, from children to old age people. Fourth is COVID. As we all know, are known that the how important factor COVID is important factor while designing homes or housing or any place like restaurant. So Norman Foster, as an architect, you design for a present with the awareness of a past for a future which is essentially unknown. So COVID is a best example for that. So as we all know that we are spending most of the time inside our homes. So we are aware that how important it is to have design homes which will create atmosphere, more healthy atmosphere for living. I have so open space in that I have consider open space and natural spaces. Home entrances should be designed in such a way that we usually what we do that any person visit our person, they first get sanitized. So such parameters should be designed. So the spaces should be created that every person visit our home after it will enter to our house. Third is video conferencing room and work from home area, as it is an important factor for all of us, as no one can cover almost all of the work from the home. So creating such factor which will not disturb the internal, as well as we will get a private space for that. For inspiration, I have also done a case study of a interlace. In interlace, I have taken this because they have created a more they have get more than built up area, built up more than a green space, which is more than a built up. So I have taken this and come into, and this is the my. So I will get more green space than a typical housing. So in typical housing, we will more build up is there. So if it place in horizontal, we will get more green space than typical housing. So I have taken that concept. Next, hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes. You're audible.
Next, Ritesh. Ma'am, this is the site plan of my project. So firstly, I have separated the amenity space which should be at the corner. So I get a almost rectangular site. So it will not interrupt my design, or any further development will not disturb our housing project, and which is easily accessible by outside also. Uh, at center, it is a Ritesh center. Main entrance to the my housing. It is a 9-meter width road. Is it as it is a two-way? At entrance, I have provide commercial area, so it should be visited by outsider also, and it should be easily accessible for people living inside. And it is placed as the starting, so parking is also given for both of them, so it will not disturb inner vehicular movement. As we move further, I given a curtain fountain with a name will be displayed on that curtain wall, so which will display our housing name. Further, I at the bottom I have given a basement parking. So the ramp will be two-way ramp, which is of total width of 7.5, which will go to basement. And so I have restricted the road area that much only. So I will get more pathways area inside passages. As it is a community level, we will be creating spaces for all types of age group like children's old age. So I have restricted the vehicular movement that much only. On that side, I have separated raw houses and semi-detached on that side, and residential apartments on this side. So they should get privacy. And also in between, I have created a community space. Further, if they want to, means we will get privacy also, and they will communicate with each other also.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Aniket.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
continue.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
continue.
Okay. I have placed services at the end point, so it should be easily be accessible uh, by the other, so it will not disturb the internal layout of the further. As above, the front side is a 60-meter wide road, and all three sides are the residential unit. So in further there can be chances of a building and apartments. So I have tried to create a more internal views rather than external. So if further there is any high-rise building uh, near our site or anything, so it will not
Aniket, you are not audible. Hello, Aniket.
hello ma'am.
Huh.
Hello.
Continue.
Hello.
Yeah,
Continue.
continue.
Yes, ma'am. Ritesh, next. Wait. Back. Side plan. As yes, ma'am. Hello, I am audible.
Yes.
Ma'am, the right side, this is the my vertical zoning of a vertical zoning. So I had vertical. I have to design a community. So I don't want to design a towers like which will have separate one BHK flat at separate tower. So I have divided the in two types, that 1 and 2 BHK are merged in one floor, and 2 BHK and 3 BHK are combine in one 3 BHK and penthouse is combined in one. So they will get the hierarchy is also maintained and community is also achieved. So my 1 BHK flats are placed at the entrance, as we can say yellow part. Penthouse is at the top of that, and the 2 BHK are placed in the center. And so in this vertical zone hierarchy is maintained as according to the flats and the luxurious, as 1 BHK are placed at the bottom. So as we move up we get more views and precious, and 3 BHK at the back side they get three sides view. So 3 BHK are placed at that side.
Continue. Next.
Hello ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, now you are audible.
Yes ma'am. And the centers, all the center spaces are the community spaces with hello Ritesh.
Your screen is not visible.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this is the typical floor plan of 1 and 2 BHK flats, which is at the ground floor. s- Ground floor. So this is the you can see that I have at center I have given 4 2 BHK flats, and at end I have given 2 1 BHK flats. The from this side, so this first one is the fire staircase, which if in case of fire, so it is placed outside so that in case of fire they have a fire external way, so they can go to the center common space where the fire they can be collected. Then I have given a duct for separate duct for a electrical, separate duct for fire, and separate for a refuse chute. And the main center big duct is for a throughout water uh, drainage line, which will not stagger. So it will be throughout the structure. Ma'am, in 2 BHK, I have hello.
Yeah, yeah.
In 2 BHK, I have further divided into two types. One is 2 BHK and second one is 2 BHK luxurious. As you can see at the bottom, Ritesh, bottom. At entrance, ikkada, uh, at entrance, I have given office room. So, or it can be used for a work from home room. So it will not disturb. We will not be disturbed. And for a office room, one can, if one visitor came, it will be.
Hello.
I have placed the wash and basin, so it will be easily accessible if guest came. Then at 1 BHK plan,
We can't hear you, Aniket. Aniket, not able to hear you.
hello ma'am,
Ah,
hello,
okay, now.
hello ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. So in that planning only, I have first divided the spaces according to the hierarchy, like public space, private, private, and public. So living room, office room is placed at the entrance. So it is visited by the guest as well as the other people. And bedrooms and toilet are at the place at the back side, so that the privacy is maintained at all. A common toilet is placed at the 3 meters, so we will get a plenty of light throughout the day. At the and the negative dark space I have given for a toilet which have a mechanical ventilation. So ventilation problem is will be solved.
Mechanical ventilation for?
Hello, ma'am.
What is
Hello.
mechanical ventilation provided for what?
For toilets,
Okay, why?
due to that smell and that, so
No.
we have to provide us mechanical ventilation through ducts.
Okay. But is the shaft size sufficient or it's not sufficient?
Ma'am, actually shaft size is 2 by 2.
No.
According to the bylaws, we have to minimum 1.6 square meter. Minimum 0.9 meter, 0.9 meter.
No, no. But just check for the 30-meter height building.
Okay, ma'am. Next. Hello.
Yeah, in this, I have a comment because we are having trouble. So I think I will give comments on each slide there and then, uh, because otherwise it is going to be difficult. So in this, I thought that two of your staircases do not have any light ventilation, direct light ventilation. So,
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, the fire staircase have light ventilation from that side.
okay, what about the other one, the other staircase?
No, ma'am.
So that is not okay.
Ma'am, but for 100 meter or no one will use this staircase.
No, but you have to get your plans sanctioned, no? So you have to put it in the DC rules.
Okay, ma'am.
So
I will
mostly,
rework on it.
sometimes fire staircases are allowed if they don't have direct light ventilation, because they are, if you pressurize them,
Yes, ma'am.
then it
Ma'am,
is
there is a one rule that fire staircase have at least one side, which one side at
external.
external. So
Yes,
they need to be have a,
correct.
because they have a fire door. So
Not only that, the exit should be very easy, because in case of emergency,
yes,
when
ma'am. The exit is at the entrance only. So in case of emergency,
but
they
that
can.
I know, but that doesn't mean that the other staircase doesn't need light ventilation.
Okay, ma'am. I will rework on it. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Next. Hello.
Yes.
This is a floor plan of a 2 and 3 BHK flats. In this also I have divided 3 BHK and into two types. One is 3 BHK and second is 3 BHK luxurious. In luxurious I have provided a maid room, which will many people have a maid, so they will have the separate room. So in at this side the maid room is placed at the end, so which will not easily accessible by anyone and which is not easily seen. So the circulation for the maid is only to the kitchen and that part only. So if any guest came or anything, so it will be not easily visible.
Hello, Aniket, you are not audible. Hello, Aniket. Hello.
Aniket, we have lost you. Huh?
Hello.
Huh.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Go to the
Yes.
next. Go to the next one.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So at end point, I have provided at the end I have provided 2 BHK flats.
Hello.
That bedroom is placed at the end, so it master bedroom is placed at the end, so it get two side views.
Yes.
Placed at the center, so it will be easily accessible for the guest as well as the other bedroom user.
Yeah, go to the next slide.
Hello.
Go to the next slide, Aniket.
Ma'am, that much only.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have to design up, my work is pending for a penthouse, 3 BHK and 2 BHK for other levels.
Yes,
It is
your
only
work is in
for,
process.
yes, ma'am.
So Aniket, I'll give you the comments. In this also,
Hello, ma'am.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in this plan also, I really like your effort because you've thought of something different than usual. You have designed the apartments also very nicely. The only thing is the core design, as I told you, you take care of the staircase.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you go to the layout?
Which layout, ma'am?
Your
Site plan.
site plan.
Site plan. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ritesh.
Okay. I want to appreciate your site plan because I think you have thought of different aspects in this. There is a clear cut uh, circulation pattern for the vehicles and the pedestrian pathways. So I like that. Secondly, I like the way you have thought of vertical zoning. Uh, Only thing is, I think your commercial area you have not detailed out whether you want it as a multi-storied building.
Yes, ma'am. It will be G+2. So
Yeah,
at the ground floor, all shops will be there, and above 2 floor will be offices.
yeah. But right now you don't have an idea how many shops you can accommodate in that.
Okay, okay, ma'am. We have given a 10 shop requirement for a 10 shop.
Yeah, so you don't know whether 10 shops will get the frontage of the road.
Okay, okay,
So maybe your internal road also can some of the shops can face the internal road.
okay.
No, because maybe all cannot face the 60 meters, the
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
12-meter road next to the expressway. The service road. There's a service road, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So some of them may face the service road and some of them may face your internal road.
Okay, ma'am.
But ideally, we should think of shops which will have a good frontage.
Frontage. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is a mistake. You've also thought of allocated an area for services. That is also something I like. So overall, I think your layout is pretty much worked out, I would say. Only thing I'm not clear is how you are going to work out the parking.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
So, ma'am, my parking will be in a rectangular form. As can I annotate it on the plan?
yeah.
Ma'am, as this is the entrance to the basement, so here it will be 1 point ratio of 1.10. So here here is 20.
Aniket, you are not audible.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Huh.
Huh.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Go ahead.
parking grid is like this. So
Aniket, you are.
hello, ma'am.
You are not audible.
See, Aniket, can you hear me? Aniket, are you able to hear me?
Hello. Yes,
Can
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll give you 2-3 suggestions.
Okay, ma'am.
You have 3 gates to your society.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to review whether you want 3 gates because you will have to have 3 watchmen.
Watchmen. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is one thing. Secondly, if a person is coming on foot to your, supposing I come by bus and I am coming to visit somebody.
So, ma'am, there will be pathways along this side. So it will.
Yeah. So you just work out that how will I reach the lift core?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How will I reach the lift lobby?
Yes,
Lift
ma'am.
lobby. Okay. So that is one thing. And secondly, after I park my car, how will I reach the lift lobby.
Lift lobby.
So
Okay,
these
ma'am.
are the two things you have to detail out. That will come. That will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
part
I
of the
am
detail.
actually working on the grid, so it will
Correct.
be easily.
Correct. Correct. Another thing is, I like your slide about you have categories. You put 4 categories.
Yes, ma'am.
Go to that slide.
Ritesh. Hello.
Collaboration,
Hello.
community living, collaboration.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Co-living. I really like this slide. I really want to appreciate. I think
you,
you
ma'am.
have understood the essence of the topic given to you, because from the brief which I read, you have exactly understood what has been expected of you, I think, and your research also is in that correct direction. So I'd like to appreciate that. About because you have not designed your bungalows and row houses as yet, and I missed out commenting on Davini's bungalow design or row house design. I would like to put in a word here that when you design a row house or a bungalow, see, you are asking for a unit price. Okay, it is usually not sold on square foot basis. Bungalows or individual bungalows, they are sold as a unit price. Say whatever, 60 lakhs, 1 crore, 50 lakhs, whatever. So the whole row house along with the front yard and the backyard becomes yours when you buy it. So optimizing the front yard and the backyard are very important, because when you are not taking an apartment and taking a bungalow, you want to have a garden of your own where you can sit, So designing the house which will have a backyard which is useful for your kitchen garden and your front.
Hello.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, Ritesh, site plan was on.
Yeah, let me complete.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Let ma'am complete.
Yeah, you can go to that slide in the meantime. No. So my point is, actually in my presentation today, I haven't put in any project which has bungalows or row houses. But one of the awards we have got is for a bungalow scheme, which is Vasant Vihar, which was mentioned in the introduction. So the front yard and backyard become very important aspects when you design a row house or a bungalow. So how much you can enjoy the front garden and the back, right?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
when you design, you please keep that in mind.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a point I wanted to make for the row house, because those are premium. That's a premium property.
Premium property. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the garden becomes an important part. Sometimes you can have a small internal courtyard also, like, just giving you a hint that you can design around a courtyard also. That is also possible. We have done that. So
yes, ma'am.
I
will work on it.
So very well done, Aniket. I really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you, ma'am.
In this layout, I would like to point out that the amenity area allocation is done very well as compared to the other layout. So that in this also, I feel that your orientation is towards the
northeast
garden. I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
But you should also think, in this case, of course, it will look good because because of the way you have oriented the buildings. So what I want to say is, when you're passing by from the road, how your buildings are going to look from the road, that also becomes an important thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you are standing at the entrance gate, what is the first impression you get? That is another important aspect, and I think that is pretty well achieved in this. So that is another thing I'd like to say, which I like. So thank you, Aniket.
Thank you, Aniket.
Thank you, ma'am.
Unshare the screen. So over to Radhika madam.
Okay, so
I request madam to continue with her presentation.
yeah, so general comments I would like to give is that you have done good case studies, and basically the topic given to you is assisted housing, which does not mean that people staying there are dependent on anybody. In fact, we want them to be as independent as possible, and that is the way you have to go ahead. I think I'll just start with my presentation so that during the question answers, maybe you can ask me more questions about any specific thing you want to ask.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Yeah, can you see? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am, but not the presentation.
You can't see the presentation?
Yeah.
You can?
No, we can't. Only the screen sharing is there, but presentation is not visible.
Okay. Now?
Not yet.
Give me a minute. हे स्क्रीन शेअर होत नाहीये मला. Hello, are you able to see?
No, ma'am, presentation is not there. Only the started screen sharing, that message is coming.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Harshada madam, are you able to see the screen?
We can see the screen, but not the presentation. The message is that it has started. Started
No?
screen. Huh. Not visible. Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible.
Hello?
It is visible. No problem.
Hello?
Your presentation is
Can you
visible.
hear me? Okay, wait here. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. We can
Akshata
hear.
ma'am, are you able to hear me? You are able to hear me?
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry for the break.
No problem.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank uh, Dr. Mahendra Sonawne sir for inviting me here. I have been to the college earlier, and I was quite impressed with the kind of dedication sir has for the students and for the institute. And I thank Harshada ma'am for coming to the office to discuss what we could do for this seminar. Uh, so with that, I'd like to start my presentation. Okay, so I have been involved in a number of type of projects ranging from institutional, you can see here. This is a MBA college in Belgaum, which we are doing. This is the School of Fashion Technology, which was built as a fashion technology, but now it is being used as the BNCA College of Architecture. Then you can see a multiplex here. Then this is a hotel. This is a school in Pune. This is a housing complex. This is a mall at Karve Road, Pune. Then there is a 25-acre SEZ, IT SEZ at Hinjewadi. This is again another, the school as Blue Ridge Township. This is a bungalow scheme at Panchgani. This is again a hotel at Itzalkaranji and another hotel at Lonavala. Coming to the housing project, whenever you start a housing project, there is a pre-design stage in which these are the aspects which are important. So first is the client brief and the project goals. So we have to have number of meetings with the client to discuss what is his vision, how we can, or if he doesn't have a vision, can we give him a vision for the project? Okay, then what are the project goals in the sense, what kind of image is to be created for the project when they advertise the project. Secondly, what kind of profits are expected from the project. So what we do is we prepare a technical feasibility report. Sometimes as architects, we are invited to just do the technical feasibility reports for different projects because the client may want to buy a plot for a particular purpose, and he wants to know the feasibility, how profitable it's going to be. So before designing, we prepare this feasibility report, which consists of two parts. First is the site analysis, which also includes the site location, details about the site location and advantages or disadvantages about the site location, and the physical features of the site, whether it is sloping, it has too much vegetation or it has less vegetation, it has any water bodies, it has any overhead HT high tension wires, etc. What is the width of the adjoining road? Does it affect the sellability of the project? Second part is the development control rules, which are to be read thoroughly before starting with the design. And followed by the technical feasibility report, we design a program for the project. So, or design brief, as you call it, which has been given to you in this case in your project. Second is the design stage. So in the design stage, the master planning plays a big role. So how is your building oriented? How are your buildings oriented? Is there a hierarchy of open spaces? Like, is there a large open space, then a medium size open space, then the smaller open spaces? And what are their individual functions of each open space? And thirdly, the circulation or the pedestrian and vehicular movement. All these make up the components of master planning. I'm telling you very much in brief the theory part because I will be explaining to you by live examples of projects which I have done. Second is the building design. In the building design, the unit design becomes very important because those are the apartments or the house or the homes of people. So they're investing their life earnings in buying that house. So each unit design should be good enough to fulfill the aspirations of the buyer, I would say. Okay. Then the building core design is important, which again depends on the way your building is visualized. Then the parking floors again are very important because sometimes I have seen in some cases that the parking floors are very large, but they are not effectively designed to fit in maximum number of cars or scooters for that matter. So this affects the costing of the project. The design of parking floors or basements affects the costing to a large extent. Third is the safety factor. So you have to be aware of the fire tender movement paths and the exit requirements in case of emergencies. This is also an extremely important thing when you design apartment. Then accessibility or universal design. So which includes whether it is child friendly, it is elder friendly, it is handicap friendly, this should come absolutely naturally to you no need to tell specifically that it has to be, child friendly or elder friendly. So in fact, this applies to each and every project that you will be designing henceforth. Universal design should be part of each and every project, and it should it should be at the back of your mind all the time when you design anything for that matter. And again, vehicular and pedestrian movement should also be accessible or easy for the semi-dependent or the dependent whose movements are restricted physically. The next is services, which is very, very important, because without services, no project will function. So we do have a set of consultants for this part, but the principal architect has to have a very good knowledge of all these aspects, namely electricity, how it works, where should the substation be located, where should the meters be located, etc. Second is the water management. In this, we should know how we can save water, how we can recycle water. In case of electricity, we can also think of saving electricity or saving energy. So we can have the solar panels for water heating, which will save us energy. In water recycling, if we can recycle the water from the drainage, we have a treatment plant and we use the treated water for landscaping and for flushing, then it reduces the load on fresh water. So less fresh water is required for the apartment building. Thirdly is the roads. So we do we give detailed sections of how the roads should be, how the sideburns should be, or how the footpaths should be. So all the details are given, which one or two I have included in my PPT. And lastly, but not the least, is garbage disposal. Garbage disposal is a very, very important thing which we actually should give a lot of importance because all the diseases or most of the diseases are spread due to bad garbage disposal or mismanagement of the garbage. So this also is a very important aspect which should be taken into consideration. Finally, sustainability is important to be part of every project, absolutely, in today's world. I have already explained about energy, water recycling, garbage disposal. And another aspect which I want to discuss as a sustainability aspect is the flexibility of master plan. By which I mean that when there is a large plot, sometimes it takes many years to complete the project and it may be done in phases. And so there should be a flexibility. Supposing after 2 years, the market trends change, then there should be a flexibility in the master plan to change the remaining number of buildings. Supposing 3 buildings out of 10 buildings are already built and the market trends are changing, then you should have the flexibility to change the typology as well as the layout of the remaining plot. So as a sustainable, what is a sustainable project? I would say either you say 3 E's or the 3 P's. So environment or the planet, you have to cater to. Equity or people means, as I said, if it is people oriented, so it is child friendly, it is elder friendly, your project is designed for people of all ages, considering people of all ages, then you have achieved equity for the people. And thirdly, economy. That is, it should be an economical project or it should bring prosperity to the project proponent or the builder or proprietor, or as well as the buyer. So from the buyer's point of view, if I have a resale value for my apartment, so whether I'm going to stay there permanently or I'm buying it as an investment, it should fetch me good returns. So so all these three aspects become very important while designing an residential complex. So there are 9 projects which I'm going to share with you. I hope I have enough time because I have to cover many aspects in this.
Yes, madam.
And so I have to, what I would like to say is, as architects, what are our services when we design a condominium or project? Is firstly, we give a vision to the builder. Then we do master planning of that project. We do architectural design. We do landscape, and we also do liaison, by which we mean we get the plans sanctioned from the relevant government authority, wherever we are constructing that, whether it is in Pune or Pimpri Chinchwad or Bangalore or Delhi or wherever. So the first project is Woodland Apartments. This was one of the, in fact, the first 36-meter tall building in Pune. When the DC rules had changed. Before this, the building height allowed was up to 20 meters. And when the Pune Corporation changed the DC rules and started allowing 36 meters buildings, this was one of the first buildings to get sanctioned. So this is the Google plan of that. And why I have drawn this is, this is actually comprises of 2 separate plots which belong to 2 sisters. And we had first got this plot in possession, and this was under negotiation. But we were still working out a master plan for the entire land. So we started with these 2 buildings. This is located behind Cummins in the Kothurud area, and this was quite a secluded area, and now you can see so many buildings around, but at that time there was nothing in this area. So this plot we allocated for the commercial essential shopping and constructed these 2 buildings. At that point of time, the current rules of alternate level terraces was not there. So we played with the balconies, in turning them and at right angles at different floors to create an interesting elevation and to create terraces as well. When we got this plot, we started building these 3. This was phase 2. These 3 buildings, and these 5 buildings have only stilts. They do not have basement, because those days cars were very few, and this was about more than 20 years back, and each apartment owner did not have a car, so the demand for parking was not so much. But as we came to this building, people started demanding for car spaces. So we had to create open cars parking over here. Now, as you can see, the mandatory open space is 10%, but here we have much more than that. Secondly, there were a lot of existing trees here. So we tried to retain as many as possible, and some of them, only the footprint, if there were 1 or 2 trees here, we transplanted them in the central garden. So that is why the master plan becomes important, so that you can start transplanting the trees at an early stage. And the advantage of retaining existing trees is, when the society is built, you already have a full grown garden. So that works to the advantage. So this is the clubhouse and swimming pool area, and this is the garden with an amphitheater, And this is a big, huge water tank, which we also designed as a stage for this amphitheater. This part has a temple, so this is sort of a temple complex. There are play courts in between the buildings, and there's another small garden over here. And along with the clubhouse, we have built a badminton hall and a creche, because in those days the idea of a creche was introduced. Not so common. So we thought that when we have 650 apartments in a big complex, so we could very well have a creche here, so which is run by the residents themselves. Okay, so when we came to this building, by the time we started constructing this building, there was a lot of demand for car park, so we had to have at least one car park, covered car park for every apartment. So this building is designed for 2 levels, which was again a first in Pune, because no residential building had a 2-level parking at that point of time. We took advantage of the slope of the site to create the ramps for this building. And later on, we went on to construct this, as well as some row houses over here, 3 and 3/6 row houses. This was again placed here because we have another road, small road here. So this part could have independent gate and access. So that was, so we have one gate here, which is an emergency gate, then a second gate here, and a third gate over here. So we have 3 gates to this complex. So you can see here, we have the services over here as well as in this corner. We have one gate here, which is normally kept closed. This is an operational gate with a watchman here, and another operational gate is here, and the third one is here. So you can see the green spaces, how they are designed. And this is the shopping, essential shopping, where we had one grocery shop and a medical shop, which are absolutely essential, because otherwise the residents would have to go a long distance to get the basics, basic necessities of life. We also have a tennis court over here and some visitors parking here. So visitors parking is also taken into account for this kind of a complex. Otherwise, then we have on-street parking for the visitors. So one must take care of visitors parking also when you design. So these are some of the snapshots. You can see this is taken from the clubhouse, looking towards the buildings. This is the clubhouse again, because there is a slope. We enter at the upper level, and there is a staircase which goes down to the swimming pool. So this is actually the first floor of the clubhouse. Again, view of the clubhouse, I mean the swimming pool. The next one is Ruturanga, which okay. So when this plot was bought, this was a proposed road, and we had to actually construct the access road before we got the completion of this project. In the meanwhile, during construction, we had this existing access to the project. And again, in this plot also, we had number of trees. So most of the trees in this part, maximum trees were in this part. So we decided to put the open space here so that we don't cut trees. When this was built, we thought of a 2-level parking for this project. But after doing the cost analysis, we realized that adding a podium here would give us the same number of car parks because when you have a basement, you can have central driveway with cars on either side, but the remaining part of the basement becomes a waste because back-to-back cars uh, people would not buy at that point of time. So one car per apartment was being achieved by adding this podium, and we have put a garden on top of the podium. This building was an EWS building which had to be handed over to the corporation. There was a certain reservation on this plot due to which 15% of the FSI was to be allocated for small apartments, and this building was built and handed over to the corporation. Now here we had a small existing temple which we enhanced and converted this into a temple complex. And as you can see in the next following photographs, okay, here you can see the parking plan, how we have designed the driveways. So when I meant that if it's in a grid, the plan is in a grid and the apartments are designed in a grid, then the parking becomes easier. So now we are having maximizing the parking because we have parking from the outside as well as from the inside. So this is possible if your design of the building is in a proper grid. After many years, we got an additional FSI. So we built a small building, added a small building here with 2 apartments per floor. And each of these buildings have 8 apartments per floor. And you can see the core design in the center. In those days, because high rises or 36-meter buildings were new, and there was the rules for the fire norms were not clear in those days, and only one staircase was required. Later on, the norms have been changed to 2 staircases per floor, with one staircase having an external side. Now here you can see this staircase is inside, but it has a proper big duct ventilating it. So even if the staircase is inside the second staircase, it has to be properly ventilated. So these are some of the photographs. Now all these big trees were existing trees which we have retained. This is the view of the clubhouse. The elevation, you can see the way we have played with the balconies. Just detailing the way we have detailed out the balconies. The third one is Athashri Senior Housing. The first project, we have done 6 projects for seniors, exclusively for seniors. The first one was built at Pashan, so I'm showing you this one, which was completed in 2002. So it's been quite a long time back. At that point of time, this was a new concept, and the promoter was not sure whether it would be a success. And there was no precedence. We did not have any case studies to do. So we had to do our own research as to what are the requirements for such a kind of a complex in India. And there were mainly 3 points which we considered. Is it has to be obviously senior friendly, that is we have to have accessibility as the main design component. It should be socially sustainable in the sense it has to have a sense of community living, because many times we see advertisements about residential complexes saying that you have maximum privacy to the apartments, and that is a selling point or the USP of the project. But especially now in the pandemic times, because we are feeling more and more lonely, I feel community living aspect is going to become more and more important, and outdoor living or outdoor interaction rather than indoors is going to become more and more important. Secondly, economical feasible model for senior housing means that we had to consider that most of these people are retired, and the apartment should be affordable to their pockets, because we were targeting the middle income and mostly the middle income and high middle income group. Yet, because they are retired, the apartment size and apartment ticket size, I would say, should be affordable. And the most important part is it should facilitate holistic living to the seniors. So they should feel independent, they should have dignity of life, they should have self-fulfillment, they should be able to participate and due care, or there should be a system where anything they need is provided for. So here we have a resident manager who looks after their day-to-day needs. He takes around every day, and he organizes events for them, excursions. There are people invited to give lectures, to interact. There are musical concerts, etc. But this will be a separate lecture by itself. So I'll go on to the layout of the master plan. So we started with this building first, and because this went on to become a big success, we went on to build another building on the next plot. And we have a clubhouse in the center with a big garden, which is 50 by 50 meters. This was a building adjoining the main road, which we had proposed, because at the ground level we had a grocery store and medical store again. Because when we built this building in Pashan area, all around there was nothing built. Even the access road which joins the Pashan Source road, we had to construct, because there was no access to this plot. So obviously, the convenient shopping, the grocery store and medical store were an absolute essential for the seniors. And upper floors were built as office spaces, but because it was an undeveloped area at that point of time in 2002, they did not get sold. In due course, what we felt was the seniors, some of the seniors were getting more and more dependent. So we converted the upper floors into a continuous care center, and created a kind of not exactly hospice, but we call it a continuous care center, where people who need constant care are looked after. So these are apartments which are sold, but they have a manager and a caretaker. Whereas this is a model where a deposit is taken from the residents, and a monthly maintenance is charged to them, and they are taken care of. So there are nurses 24 hours. There's a resident doctor over here, and any kind of help, they have to be rushed to the hospital or anything, or regular treatments at the hospital, all that is taken care of by the resident doctor. Okay, so the challenge here was, it was a sloping site, and this sloping site was given to us and said that you have to now design for the seniors. So we had to really negotiate the levels. So at the lowest level, what we achieved was, from here we go to the basement, and then when we come up, we come to the ground floor to the entrance, and then we come up, we come to the clubhouse. So again, we go to the basement of this building. When we come up, we go to the entrance lobby of this building, and so forth and so on. Again, you can see that the vehicle movement is restricted to this road, whereas all these areas are vehicular free areas. Again, you can see the hierarchy of open spaces. So there is a large open space with a clubhouse, which again has ramps, grab bars. The swimming pool also is provided with grab bars because many of the seniors are asked to walk in the water as water therapy. Then we have a temple here. So all the festivals are celebrated here, including the flag hosting is done here on 15th August. Dahi Handi happens here. So many festivals are celebrated over here. Here also we have a garden with a water body, water cascade we have. These two open spaces are again mid-size open spaces. So here you have initially this was just a garden, but now we have put play courts here. This is an amphitheater which is extensively used for outdoor concerts. And then we have, in every building, we have these smaller courtyards, which are designed, which has skylights and where people can sit and chat with each other. So how we can use the slope to advantage, if you visit this place, it is a very good example. So this is the front view. This is the view of the central garden. So we have these pathways for walking. You can see the temple and the walkways. We have also landscaped the terraces, and all the lifts go up to the terraces. So the seniors can, go up to the terrace, sit quietly by themselves, or they have small group parties over here. We also have provided a dining space over there for them, which is I have not included in this, but I wanted to stress on the outdoor interaction spaces because that is the need of the hour now. So how you design the landscape and how you create a hierarchy of open space for different purposes is important. So here you can see a courtyard, smaller courtyard. Here you can see a place for chit chat in the outdoor open space. Then we also provide small children parks because when the grandchildren visit them, they can enjoy with them. Here you can see how the outdoor space is being enjoyed by the seniors. They are celebrating various festivals. So this is the amphitheater which I was talking about. Of course, in the pandemic times, we will have to, we can't sit so close to each other. So it will be half capacity probably. But you can see that it has ramps. So anyone can easily, take the ramp, and there are no steps provided. So at every level, horizontally or vertically, everywhere, each space is accessible to each and every person staying in the complex. So these are some of the disabled friendly design aspects. So we have railings in the passages, grab bars or railings, whatever you can call it. Then we have at the entrance, you can see that there are steps. Where there are steps, there are railings, and on the side, there is a ramp to go to the entrance lobby. Then we have specially designed toilets in every house with these kind of grab bars provided. All the common areas, it is important for them to be well lit and well ventilated. And all throughout the campus, whether it is indoors or outdoors, we have anti-skid flooring because for seniors, that is very important because most of the accidents or most of the cases are because of falls, slipping and falling. So, and at that age, the bones are very brittle. So you have to take care that they don't fall. So that is why we have to provide railings wherever required. The next one is Magnolia. I'm showing you different sort of plots, shapes and sizes so that you can understand how if the site conditions affect the master plan. So this is the shape of the plot. So what we did was we put a commercial building here, which is now being designed as a mall. The construction has started now, but we had completed this 10 years back, the residential part. Now because of the squarish plot, we designed buildings like this. Again, this has a slope, so we use that to put the ramps on the periphery, and this is a pedestrian area completely. Now the cores are so designed that from the building you can enter the garden through a ramp. So any person on a wheelchair can enter the garden very easily without any without crossing the vehicular movement. This podium is connected, and we have put the swimming pool on top of the podium here. This is the clubhouse, and the garden is designed as there is a children's area, there is a senior citizens corner over here, and obviously there is a sort of a this is the stage, and this part becomes like a open air amphitheater. So we are catering to different age groups as far as possible. We do that in every project. We have discussions with the landscape architect, and we share our ideas, and we work in unison so that whatever we want to achieve is feasible. So here you can see that how we have achieved these kind of ramps. There is another road here, so we have another gate over here also. And a third gate here, which which caters to the service area. These are the services, the MACB areas, etc. over here. Now you can see that how grid planning allows clear-cut circulation inside the building also. So these driveways are absolutely without any columns. And you can see these are the lobbies. So when you come down, you can enter the garden. So this is the basic concept of this. This is a building design tip. One building I have shown, and as you can see, those days 2 staircases were not compulsory in the DC rules, so we have provided 1 staircase. And these are the 3-bedroom apartments. These are 2-bedroom apartments. As you can see, the corner bedrooms have alternate terraces, and you have alternate terraces for the living dining also. And this is the common passage area. And from here also you can get a view of the garden, central garden, because this window creates a vista for that. This is, I think, the photographs of Magnolia. So here you can see I was talking about the senior citizens corner over here. This is a top view. This I was talking about, that from the entrance lobby you can enter the central garden. So at 2 corners we have steps, and at 2 corners we have ramps. So, and because the driveway is connected, we had to negotiate the levels in this fashion. So this is a area for the children's park, then this is an area for the seniors, then we have the 3rd corner as the stage. So we have tried to incorporate areas, different outdoor areas for different age groups. This is another view. So I would like to, actually I mixed up the slides a bit. This is a township project where we have different typologies, beginning with a compact apartment building here. Then we have bungalows over here. The bungalows, there are bungalows, row houses, twin houses, independent bungalows of different areas like 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, like that. Then we have apartment complex here. Now again, all these are following the contours. Why it is designed like this? It's because of the levels of this. This is it slopes down from top to bottom. It slopes down towards the Manas Lake. This is located in Bhugaon. This is a senior housing complex that this is completed and this is ongoing. And these apartments have a variety ranging from 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 4 BHK, duplexes, and podium and apartments with large podium gardens. I just wanted to share this with you because it has different typologies. If you get a chance to visit this, please do visit this township at Bhugaon. And I just wanted to show you the core design of one of these buildings, which is like this. So here we have, because this is a, we have taken both the lifts as bigger lifts so that a stretcher can be accommodated. And we have 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, but this is a typical floor. We start with larger apartments at the ground level with large gardens, and then we move on to smaller apartments on the upper floors. Okay, so now we come to La Cresta. This is another project situated at Hadapsar, and here we had the challenge given to us by the builder was that he didn't want the regular type of buildings which are rectangular in shape. And this plot we were not able to acquire, so this odd shape was there. This is the adjoining access road. So what we visualized was the buildings were in a plus form, and the core was placed diagonally, and yet I will show you how we have achieved the parking, because it is still in a grid. So we could have a driveway inside the building like this, and we could this is the entire podium, and these are the towers resting on the podium, and this is a garden on top of the podium. So this part is a podium garden, and we have a clubhouse here with a small garden and some play areas here, outdoor play areas. So this was the initial visualization of the project, and these are the photographs, actual photographs. This garden is on the podium. This is the podium garden, and we have provided these as ventilating shafts for the basement below. All these pathways, all this is on top of the podium, so we had to design the slab accordingly with required sunks at the appropriate place, for the trees, where the trees can be placed on top of the slab. This is the entrance gate. And again, here we have made use of the slopes to create this basement. So we have a basement and we have a stilt. So we come up. So we have again a 2-level parking, but the stilt parking does not have a full slab like this one. You can see the ramps, one ramp going down and one ramp going up. Next is Madhu Kosh. Again, here I want to highlight the way we designed the master plan. In this case, we had this plot in hand, and this plot we were still negotiating. Means the builder was negotiating, but we had to, as architects, we had to keep that in mind. So, which later on we amalgamated the two plots and created a bigger complex. Now, in this, the brief given to us initially was that we will start with a building, this building, these two buildings, which will have very, very small apartments of 300 square feet. So we had to design a 1-bedroom apartment with a 300 square feet carpet area. So that was very challenging for us. And we have 13 apartments at one level in this building, and we have 3 floors over here. We have a huge clubhouse in the center, and these are the open spaces that are proposed. Again, here we have 2-level parking, and we have very efficiently worked out the ramps over here. We have 2 gates, one here and one here, and this is an emergency gate, 3rd gate. Later on, when we bought this plot, these buildings were added. And this plot was given to the plot owners of the second plot. So we have built 6 twin houses here, means 3 pairs and twin houses. So what I want to say is, when you're designing a complex, the saleability of each apartment, what kind of use the apartment has. Now this was designed with 6 apartments per floor, so that we get corner bedrooms for maximum number of apartments. You know, the corner apartments are can fetch a higher price than the ones in the center. So this is the way it is built. Again, sometimes this is a very quite a dense. You feel it is dense, but when you go inside, because of the central open space, you don't feel that it is the density is high. So you can see these are visuals. Green City is another complex which of 16 acres, and this I'm just showing to you, sharing with you, because we had to do a combination of apartments and row houses. So I have included this. Now, why we had access from 2 points, from here and here, and this was the 3rd access, which was right now not available because this was a proposed DP road. So we had 1, 2, and 3 accesses. Even this road was not existing, so we had to start with this. So this was the phase 1. Now, why we put the bungalows here or twin houses here was there were many trees here, and you won't believe it, we did not cut a single tree in this part, and we placed them the houses in such a way that the trees could be used to advantage. And then we started this complex, and when we got additional FSI, see, a 16-acre project goes on for many years. So as I told you, there should be flexibility. So when we designed this later, here we don't have 2-level parking, but here we introduced 2-level parking as per the market requirement of that time. And we have a central, when you come here, you have a plaza and you have a central garden and a big clubhouse which caters to all these apartments. You can see that there are more than 700 apartments in this in total. So it is a big neighborhood, I would say. And we have put amenities plots over here and over here. So there are 2 amenity plots. Also, we have essential shopping in this building at the ground level. So it's a self-sufficient society by itself with its own recreational spaces, own essential shopping, own walkways, walking tracks, and a full-fledged clubhouse. So this is the 3D view of that, and these are some of the photographs. Again, this is a podium garden for phase 1. This is the plaza I was talking about. This is actually the photograph of the inauguration of the handing over ceremony of phase 1. You can see the clubhouse at the back. And what I would like to say is all the services are so designed that they are not visible. They are not, in the eye sort of. They are very well hidden. So you can't see the LT rooms or you can't see the STP anywhere. So spaces have been carved out very effectively. These are the twin houses I was talking about. You can see these trees were all retained, and these are the front yards for the. We haven't put compound walls in this. We took a different concept here. So these twin houses have their own internal courtyard with a skylight, and the front yards are left open, which they can individually enjoy. But we haven't put compound walls because it gives a more open type of an environment to the complex. Next is Abhiruchi Parisar, which I'm going to explain more in detail. The last two, this is the second last project, and I'm going to explain these two more in detail with respect to the master layout, the typology of apartments, etc. So this was started in 2014. This is a 25-acre project, and the FSI was very high. The FSI was 2.2. So we had to build twice as much as the plot area, and the number of tenements proposed was 2,200. So it was a really big neighborhood complex that we were designing. And this is a very, very challenging project because it had a sloping site. And our main theme was we wanted to design it like around a park, a continuous park or a continuous gathering space and the buildings around it. So starting with the location and site, this site is located at Thairi, and we had only one access to start with, and all these were proposed roads. Now this road is existing, and this road is also existing. But initially we had only one access, small access to the plot. Now here, you can see that we had a lot of existing trees here. We had some reservations from the development plan. So we had reservations over here. And also some residential areas over here. So there was some development here. There was no development on these three sides. This was a proposed 9-meter road, which we now have constructed. And we had to give a plot to the owners for bungalows. And because this part had a lot of more trees, we allocated this for their purpose, so that we don't have to cut the trees, and we could design bungalows in this plot for them. And this was an existing pathway on the site. Visioning. So we tried out various layouts in cluster formations, in various possibilities were explored. We also explored how the dynamics of the open spaces to the building, the relationship of open spaces to the building would work. And finally, with discussions with the promoters, we decided on option 1 to go for option 1 and develop this one. So, so this was a proposed DP road. This was an existing road, and this was also a proposed DP road. So when we start construction, you start from this end, and we thought of this type of cluster, interlocking cluster type of development. And this part was to be allocated for Bhada, which means the social housing. 20% of the FSI was to be built and handed over to the Maharashtra Housing and Area Development Authority. So this plot we allocated for that. Also, we have to give 15% amenities. So we thought that because there was a reservation here, DP reservation for a shopping complex, we thought that we should cluster all the amenity spaces around this road. So we have put the 15% amenities over here. This, you can see there are so many existing trees. So we allocated this plot to the owners and built around this. Okay, so this was the initial conceptual movement and open space network that we worked out. Eventually, it was sort of evolved into a little bit different of a master plan that I will explain further. So here you can see we have 2 accesses here, 1, 2, 3. This was a proposed, like whenever this would be constructed, this would be a 3rd access, and this access for the Bhada, and these are the amenities. Then this was the MSCB plot, which eventually actually shifted over here, but this was the initial this thing. And as you can see, all the green areas we wanted as connected. And the initial idea was there was a row of trees here with adjacent to the existing pathway, which we wanted to retain, but unfortunately later on we could not retain many of these trees, but that was the initial idea. And all these existing trees were to be retained. Here you can see the typologies. So we had 1 BHK, 2 BHK, and 3 BHK apartments. Most of the 3 BHK apartments were put in the corner so that they could have a premium price. The 2 BHK apartments were in the middle of the buildings, and we proposed 2 clubhouses, one here and one over here for the phase 1. So this was very, very initial in 2014 what we had done. This is 2020 now. So this was the kind of central park which we wanted. And we wanted to check out whether the width of that would be sufficient, because the buildings were going to be 50 meters tall, since the FSI was very high, 2.2. So this was the 3D visualization for the brochure, and this was the central part which was visualized. 1 clubhouse over here with the swimming pool, and the second clubhouse in the next open space over here. This is another visualization of the same thing. So we have tennis courts, we have play areas for the children, we have swimming pool. We have 2 clubhouses. One clubhouse is for leisure and the other is a sports clubhouse with indoor court provided, badminton court and basketball court. So this is the phase 1 clubhouse. This is the central street between the 2 rows of clusters. So this one. So we will have phase 2 over here, and this is the phase 1, and this is the central street which will lead to the road on the other side, leading to the Mhada complex. So we had designed where the parking would be, how the footpath would be, how the entries would be, and all the details of the street sections were worked out. So this was the initial concept, and this is the final outcome. So here you can see that we have interlocked the buildings, and this is the street, central street, which I showed you. So this on this side we have buildings, but on the other side we have open spaces. So the buildings are far away from these buildings. Initially, we had thought that this part would be developed as a senior housing complex. So it was designed differently than these. And here we had used the top terraces for farming. So we would have terrace farming over here for the seniors. That was the idea. And this is the Mhada component which we have designed, and these are the amenity areas. Here, because this was also a road, we have put essential shopping over here for the residents. Right now we have completed this building, and this building, and we are in the process of changing the plans for the remaining buildings, as I told you, because the project started in 2014 and now 6 years later, the market trends are changing. So we may have to change this part of the layout. Keeping the master plan, not many changes in the master plan, but in the building typology and the building design will be changed. This is a closer view of the master plan. So you can see here, this is phase 1, which is one complex, and the central street divides it from the senior housing. We have a shopping center here and the Mhada over here. These two again are reservations. This is a playground reservation and this is a school reservation, which we have designed now, and the work will soon start. So you can see that as a community, this whole complex has all the necessary facilities and amenities. You have a shopping center, you have a school, and you also have essential shopping. Infrastructure. Now in infrastructure, first thing is working out the parking. This was very challenging because the plot had the lowest point was at this corner, and this was the highest point, and because the slope was traversing in both directions, we had the difference between this point to this point was 4 meters, and from this point to this point it was 10 meters. So you can understand the level difference, and we had to negotiate the entries to the different parking levels. So we have these sort of interlocking parkings worked out. So we have level 1 parking, level 2, then level 3, and then level 4, and the basements extending into the next cluster. So how to make use of a sloping site was something which we learned while designing this project. Also the service line, the main service lines are to be worked out. So here you can see that the main service lines are marked out. Then the STP locations are marked out, one here for this cluster, one here for this cluster, and one here for this cluster. Again, STP has to be at the lowest point, so accordingly we have allocated the spaces. Then secondly, LT rooms. For so many apartments, we need a number of LT rooms. So those are to be easily accessible from the road, because heavy equipment is to be placed in them. So it's very important to locate them properly. And these are to be built along with the like LT room for phase 1 will be built first. LT room for the, so we have to understand which LT room is for which phase and accordingly develop that. Then water tanks, we have placed the water tanks in below the ramps, so they don't take up space. We haven't put any of the water tanks in the open spaces. We have put them below the ramps so that our open spaces are not compromised. And this is the MACB yard, which we have handed over to the MACB. Okay. Then streets, as I told you, the street sections are worked out in detail. Here you can see this is phase 1, that is this one. This is phase 2 building. And you can see the distance between the two buildings, because there is an open space, there is a street and the open space. So the relationship between this building and this building is understood from this section. A detailed out section is made here, so that these are the service lines below the below the paved area. This is a trimix part of the road, vehicular driveway. This is where the services will go. This is the footpath. So we have also marked out where the trees will be planted, and this is the footpath. So this footpath, and this is the entry to this building over here. So all the entries to the pedestrian entries, vehicular entries, etc. are all worked out in detail. So whenever you do the master plan, you have to put down the levels, made up levels around the buildings. This is another street section of this entrance street. Here we have building 1 here, and here this is the second building here. So the relationship between these two buildings can be gauged over here. Building unit and unit configurations. So I'm giving an example of one building. There is some problem with my mouse. Okay. So this is one building. I'm going to explain how the core works. So although this podium is connected, actually these are two separate buildings above the podium. So this building has 6 apartments at one level, and this building has 4 apartments at one level. So these are 2-bedroom apartments. This is also a 2-bedroom. This is also a 2-bedroom, but the design is slightly different. So it is marked in a different color. And the corner ones are 3 bedrooms. So this is how the core works. And the core design had to be, initially it was this, for this particular building we had placed it diagonally, but then we changed it to this so that the driveway is easily accommodated. So there is an internal driveway here which maximizes the parking. Okay. So here you can see the passage areas over here. So in this is you have to minimize the passage areas also, the common passage areas. Yet the entries and exits. Now this staircase, from here you can come out into the garden, and this is an external staircase which leads you to the street. So this is the fire staircase where you can come out from here. And these are the entrance lobbies at the entrance level, entry level parking level. Services. So here you can see that the fire ducts and the electrical ducts are marked. So these are also very important in vertical development, that you have sufficient electrical duct, vertical ducts and fire ducts placed next to the fire escape staircases. This is just shows a 2 BHK and 3 BHK apartment design. So how to minimize the passage areas and how to get create larger shafts or larger ducts or outdoor ducts so that the toilets and kitchens are well ventilated. If the kitchen is on the external side, it's still better, but if not, at least it should have a semi-open kind of an outdoor courtyard or outdoor courtyard. So this is again the master plan. So we come to the end of Abhiruchi Parisar. The last one is the loft at Blue Ridge Township. This example I have taken because it is a 110-meter tall building, which is possible in a township. This is again another township that we have done. Again, it is 160 acres, which also includes a 25-acre IT SEZ. So this is an IT park, and this is a residential township in which we have a school, we have a hospital. This hospital is not yet built. All these are built. All these are built. So these last two, these towers are under construction. This is yet to be built, but the rest of it is all built. And this is the building which is almost nearing completion, which I'm going to show you now. So why this is being built last is this plot we had reserved for a mall and multiplex, but there was no demand for a multiplex. So what now the program changed, and now we have 4 levels of commercial spaces and a tower on top of that. And so now we are in the process of constructing this. This is a township office we have constructed at the entrance. These are the compact apartments over here, and these are the 2, 3, and 4 BHK apartments here. There is a golf course in the center. So, and because this is the Mula River, we have either the river view or the golf club view for the apartments. All these apartments are ranging from 26 floors to 30 floors. So this is the building that we are going to talk about now. So as I told you, we have 4 levels of commercial space. The footprint of each commercial floor space is as much as 4,000 square meters, almost an acre of area of commercial space. So we have to have separate cores and separate exits for the commercial area floors, and separate cores and separate exits for the tower. Now this podium is again landscaped fully, and we have a sky lounge placed at the top level over here. So I'm going to make it very, very brief because this building, if I have to explain this building, it will take an independent lecture, but I'm going to explain it in 4 or 5 slides. So because we had roads on 2 sides, we have two gates, one over here, and the pedestrian entry to the mall from this side. This is the podium, and this is the tower placed on top of that. We had to design parking in such a way that the commercial people have their own separate parking and the residential people have their own separate parking. So their exits had to be different. As you can see, these are the, this is the entry for the residential. This is the pedestrian entry to the mall, and this is the entry to the, for the commercial parking. So this is the podium level plan. You can see that the entire deck is landscape. We have done the landscaping too. So we have acted also as the landscape architect. And this is the plan at the podium level. So we have some garden apartments here, and this is the sort of an entrance lounge, from which you enter the garden. Okay, and these are the changing rooms for the swimming pool. So you come here, and these are the changing rooms within the building. And you can see how the core is designed. Being a tall building, there are certain calculations as to the number of lifts required for a tall building. So accordingly, the type of lift and the number of lifts are decided. And elaborate number of calculations are done to work out how many electrical ducts are required. And accordingly, they are placed over here. So what makes this building different or interesting is that it's a mixed use building in which we have a 2-level apartment. The lower parking level has a mechanical parking. Both these floors have mechanical parking, and the lower floor has 3-tier parking, and the upper level has 2-tier parking. Then we have, this is a mall at the ground level. Then we have 3 levels of office spaces, and these are the residential spaces, and this is the Sky Lounge. This section goes through the lifts. So you can see the 2 lift shafts. We have created trenches like this, or ventilation shafts, to ventilate the basements. So even if it is, we have a lot of commercial, our basements are naturally ventilated. So we don't have to put ducting in the basements to ventilate. As you can see in all the malls, nowadays they have ducting in the basements to ventilate the basements, but we have created natural ventilation. So a lot of effort goes into planning these details. This is a view, and it shows the relationship. It shows the relationship between the existing buildings and this new building. And there is a garden which separates this building from the existing buildings. You can see this is the typical floor plan. Now again, since it is a 110-meter building, there is a certain typology of construction which is used here. We have used 3 types of construction technologies in this building. For the commercial part and the podium part, we have used PT slabs. For the tower, we have used My1 technology. And for the core, we have used conventional construction methodology. So there are 3 types of construction methodologies used in this. That is also what makes this building different or interesting. As you can see, this is a very, very simple plan and very much agreed plan of compact 1 BHK apartments, mainly catering to the IT population. There is an IT SEZ next to it, so these were sold very quickly. This is a typical apartment plan and a 3D view of that. So this leads to this sit out area of that. This is the podium landscaping 3D view. another view of the podium. So you can see the swimming pool here and the futsal court over here. And this is where you enter the podium garden from. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. I once again want to thank Professor Sonawani sir for inviting me. And I hope I have done justice to the topic and I tried to share whatever I could to the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam. Students, if you have any questions, you want to interact with madam?
If they have questions, they can probably put it in the chat box or unmute themselves and ask.
Yes. Radhika madam, your presentation was in so detail and in depth that it find that already answered all the questions.
Okay, I think the students are. If there are any questions, even later they can probably contact me and talk to me. You can share my number with them if they want any assistance. They can always contact me. Okay.
Anybody want to ask from student, from faculty? We will have site visit, madam.
Yes.
At your any of the projects.
Yes, actually, a site is explaining things at the site is more interesting and more useful.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
This is architect Vasili Mulay here.
Yes. Hi.
Hello. Hi. Nice to know that you're from the Rotary Club.
Yes.
Okay. This was, I think, on behalf of the students, what they would like to ask is that you have spoken about podium spaces with open spaces. So whether those can be considered as open spaces if they're on the podium, or do they have to start from the ground? That was one. And the second is, can we split amenity spaces into parts? I think that could be one of the questions which they would probably like answer.
Okay. So talking about amenity spaces, generally they want all the amenity spaces clubbed together. But if it is more than, each amenity space is becoming too large, then of course you can split it. Like if the land is in acres, then you do have number of amenity spaces. Like I showed in Green City, there were amenity spaces adjoining 2 roads. Or in the Abhiruchi Parisar, there were different amenity spaces. So it depends on the area of the original plot. Accordingly, you can divide the amenity spaces. Open spaces also, there is a rule that 50% of the open space should be at one place, and the remaining 50% can be divided into smaller open spaces, provided none of them is less than 300 square meters. So that depends on the plot area, original plot area. The second question was whether we can have open spaces on podiums. Now, there was a certain period when the Pune Corporation was allowing 50% of the open space on podium and 50% on ground, but that has been discontinued, and the podium gardens are over and above the 10% mandatory open space. So we can use the 10% open spaces mandatory, plus the podium gardens, plus top terraces also can be used as gardens. So we have a lot of scope for landscaping these days.
No, ma'am. Can the open space be only on, does it have to be only on the ground, or can it be on a podium?
No, it has to be on the ground. It has to be. The mandatory 10% has to be on the ground. Hello?
Yeah, thank you. That was
Yeah, the mandatory 10% has to be on the ground. The podium garden is over and above, extra.
all right.
The podium garden is extra,
All
additional.
right. Yeah,
Additional.
thank you.
Yeah. I think services should be also considered as a very important part of designing a complex. Because these days the sewage treatment plants are not allowed underground, for example. Part of it is above the ground. So obviously we don't want it to be visible, or the garbage disposal plant, we don't want it to be visible or getting a smell from the sewage treatment plant or the garbage disposal plant. So they have to be cleverly placed. Also, firefighting systems like courtyard fire hydrants, they should know about it, like underground tanks. We need underground tanks also for firefighting as well as overhead tanks. And we need courtyard hydrants besides the wet risers inside the buildings. So all these are also to be detailed out. So they should make services plans.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
This is architect Madhura Merukar. Ma'am, I want to ask something regarding green rated buildings. That is, I have observed that we take the certifications from these bodies which are there, IGBC, Griha and all. So we take the certifications for the project, but when it comes to the monitoring point of view or the application of those green which we have adapted in that project, uh, what is your experience regarding that monitoring or application which actually doesn't practically happen in the projects, is what the scenario is there today?
In this case, I would say that generally these certificates are taken for commercial projects, because the buyers are more interested in maintaining that certification. So they will, and secondly, we need to train, when we hand over the building, we need to train the people what they are supposed to do and what are the criteria, so that the renewal of the certification is easy. So training becomes an important part of that.
Yeah, actually when we do so much for green and all, everything is set at the right place when the certification is there, but afterwards it happens that the application or the practicality of that project is, it's not running in the same way how it is certified. So
No,
that
but
happens.
if you see the criteria of that, the services is an important part of that. Correct. So the services are so designed that maintenance is very easy. Then it is not difficult, so difficult.
Thank you, ma'am.
Because that is where the consultant also comes into consideration, because we have to have these discussions with the consultants, so that any building which it is constructed and it is difficult to maintain, whether it is repainting the building or maintaining the plumbing or maintaining the sewage treatment tank. So maintenance aspect is also to be considered while designing, because maintenance cost should not be high for the residents.
Yeah.
Once you hand over the property, if I have to pay through my nose for the maintenance of my apartment, for the common maintenance, then it's difficult for me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
So I would just like to add that the role of consultants is very important. Although the architect is the captain of the ship, we do get a lot of input from technical input from the various consultants. So their role is also equally important, as well as the structural consultant. So I would like to give due credit to them also. Thank you. Okay, so once again, I want to thank everybody, all the students for the patient hearing, and all the faculty of SBP, COAD, and Professor Mohinder Sonawde. And I think I will take your leave now, sir.
Madam, hello.
Yes.
I would like to summarize and then vote of thanks will be given by student.
Okay.
So do you have a time for?
Okay.
5 minutes. Okay. Finally, I will summarize what Madam talked about. Pre-design stage, then principles of design. Then she talked about sustainability, flexibility of master planning, phase-wise planning, infrastructure planning, and 3 P's and 3 E's, principles behind her or philosophy in their design. All the presentation was a wonderful, beautiful presentation with all the manifested projects and Madam explained about all the residential projects from initial concept to final outcome with all the details, and how to create all interactive open spaces, how to plan services, designing campuses with wonderful ambiances, and to enhance community living and the conveniences. Then naturally ventilated basements and the construction technology, different construction technologies. Thanks, Madam, for giving your valuable time and patiently listening and viewing students' work. Thanks once again. And now Siddhi from...
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you please take over.
Yes, ma'am. So a very good afternoon to one and all attending this webinar. I, Siddhi Thakur from 4th year section A, deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks today on behalf of SB Patil College of Architecture and Design, and to all of those who have contributed to this webinar directly and indirectly. So first and foremost, I would like to thank our special guest for today, Honorable Architect Radhika Vaidya ma'am, for gracing us with her presence and giving us the knowledge, insight, and also her perspective on this topic of residential complex design. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable work with all of us, and I hope all of us have been inspired by your comments and will retain all this information and utilize it towards making each of our designs a success. We are also very grateful to our principal, sir, Dr. Mahendra Sonawde, sir, and all our faculty members for their efforts and continuous encouragement, even in these difficult times. And I hope we continue to receive your precious guidance. So lastly, thank you everyone, and I hope you have a great day ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Hello, Principal sir. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, okay, Harshada.
Okay.
I think I will take your leave now. Thank you, students, and I hope my lecture will benefit you. If you have any queries, you're most welcome to contact me.
Just a minute, madam. I will see if he is there. Principal sir is there. Otherwise. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have one question. I have put it in a chat box.
Yeah, I was just reading it. While designing a floor plate, is there any restriction for floor plate areas, like how many units on each floor? See, when you design a particular apartment, we have designed as many as 13 apartments per floor. The important thing here is the travel distance. So it is one of the fire norms that the travel distance from your apartment to the exit staircase should not be more than 22.5 meters. And that is something you have to take care of. Otherwise, your plans will not get sanctioned. So accordingly, you can design the floor plate, or you have to add one more staircase so that the distance is reduced. You can have as many apartments, but then you have to go on adding those many exits or number of staircases and cores. You got it?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, actually, I had a question regarding the services part.
Okay.
Ma'am, like services play a greater role in all typologies of the building. So while designing a housing, how do services can help us to reduce the carbon footprint of that building, or how do they help to make it a green building?
Yeah, that is a separate topic by itself, but I can tell you briefly. See, first is energy. For energy saving, you can use solar panels for either energy generation, which you can use. That energy generated can be used to light up common areas. Like the driveways have street lights. The central garden will have some lighting. Also, the common areas like passages, staircases will have lights. So these lights can be, for common areas, can be lit up with the energy you have stored in batteries from the solar panels. So that is one way of reducing energy consumption, right? Because you're generating energy. Second is water recycling. So you can do rainwater harvesting. So from your terrace tops, you can collect the rains. You can put filters at the outlets. You can collect the water in a tank. Uh, Use it for your landscaping or for your flushing. Okay, so that will reduce the load on fresh water intake. So fresh water can be connections can be given only to the showers and in the kitchens. All right. So in the flushing tanks, only the recycled water will go. And also for the, you can have drip irrigation in your landscaping, and all that would be recycled water. So that will again reduce your fresh water intake, right?
So
Thank you so much, ma'am.
sir. Over to principal sir. And students and all of you, please on the video. Principal.
Also for sustainability point of view, the kind of vegetation you choose to plant, that also becomes very important. And saving trees, also very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, over to principal sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, extremely valuable knowledge shared by senior architect, Honorable Architect Radhika Vaidya Madam ji. I thank you once again for giving us such a lot of precious time of yours from your profession, sharing your knowledge and experience of your project to our students and others also from various other colleges who attended this session through Facebook Live. We will certainly after the lockdown see that we have an actual site visit to one of your projects if you help us and permit us. Thank you once again from Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust and SB Patil College of Architecture. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you all students for such a patient hearing. I think I overshot by some time, but I hope you have benefited from that.
Yes, we will always welcome that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye. Thank you, sir.
Again, once again, hello. all of you. I also thank the entire team of Harshada Wazarkar madam and their colleagues Akshata Bere and Chaitanya Bagul, who took a lot of pain in organizing this session, getting permission from Radhika Vaidya madam and all the college other groups also, the digital team also, Akshay More from computer department. Once again, a nice session. I hope you enjoyed it, and this type of sessions will be also going on henceforward also. Tomorrow also we have on campus planning by architect Sanjay Mohe from Bangalore, but it's I think for the third year students, institute and campus planning. So you can go live on Facebook. The link will be shared very soon. And I think Anjali Lokhande is there. I should appreciate that she's gone winning that first 25 entries at international campus planning thing. So you and your entire team, I do not know the other students who participated in. Once again, congratulations to you, Anjali.
Thank you,
God
sir.
bless you. And thank you, Wazarkar madam, for organizing such a good session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all the faculties, and thank you, principal, sir, and PCET. Thank you very much.